Please welcome to the show, Camila Cabello. Why are your shoes off? Put your shoes on.
I'm giving you guys all hugs.
She's giving us the hug.
You guys too much. So I have to give you all hugs, and I have to take off my shoes because they're really painful.
Well, then why are you wearing them?
Because they're cute, Elvis.
But you're not wearing. So in other words, when you go shoe shopping, you should shop for shoes that are cute to carry.
Barefoot in the club.
Yeah, you're like one of those girls at the end of the wedding. You take off your shoes. And
I know.
You get
In Miami,
feet.
they call them patas sucias.
Yes, they do.
Yes, we do.
I don't do it at the weddings, but I do it here.
Yeah, you did it here, and you're okay. But she, you know how our women's room in our building is the most disgusting.
I put them on before I got there.
And she was going to go to the bathroom without her shoes on. I went, no, do
Don't
not
go
do
in.
that.
And the first stall, I don't know what people do in that first stall, but whenever Bethany and I go in there, it's like something exploded.
In my school, they used to have like when you looked up at the ceiling, I don't know why kids would do this, but they would wet the paper towels and throw them up at the ceiling. So you would look up and there would just be a bunch of like dried up balls in the ceiling.
They used to call me that in high school.
Dried up balls?
Yeah.
The first stall in our bathroom here has a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what's
We don't know what's behind that hole.
Some creepy person's watching you use the bathroom.
Oh, my God.
Camila, we have so much to talk about on.
Yeah.
We got to catch up. We have to talk about an album that is being created as we speak. We have to talk about that process. But let me take you back. I was saying before you came in here that the story behind the artist really makes your music extra special. Your music and other artists who come through these doors. We're talking about a mother and father who moved to America from Cuba with nothing. Nothing. Your mom, you know how much I love your mom.
Yeah.
She found a job stocking shoes at the shoe store. Your dad was washing cars, I believe, you know, and they did whatever they could to make it happen, to make their dream come true in America, and then subsequently their daughter, Camila Cabello. I have to use both names.
Camila Cabello.
And look what's going on.
Yeah.
Look at these dreams that are coming true. I mean, so looking at you, Camila, through your mom's eyes must be the most incredible journey to see what you're up to.
I mean, I feel like they've taught me so much just by, you know, just being who they are. You know, they've just never been afraid to start over from scratch and risk everything.
Is that where you get it?
Yeah, I honestly think so, because I feel like they've always taught me that if you want something enough, if you work hard enough, you're gonna get it, and there's nothing that can stand in your way if you really set your mind to it. And so I feel like that's where I get kind of not fearlessness, because my parents were like, my mom was afraid coming to Miami with no money and not speaking English and not having any family there. Of course she was afraid, but we've never let fear stop us from going for what we want. And I feel like they've just taught me that firsthand.
We were talking about this before you came in. Like, how many of us have these goals, have these dreams? We don't get to them because we're afraid.
What is your advice to somebody? How do you get over that fear then?
I feel like, I mean, this is going to sound really weird, but I always just imagine, okay, this might sound really weird, but I just imagine the moment when I die, like when I'm old, and I just imagine me looking back on my life, if that makes sense. And so
we talk about that all the time.
And so a lot of the times I just make decisions based on kind of going backwards, like what is there to be afraid of, really? You know what I mean? Everybody, you know, we all have such a limited time on earth, and I feel like if we just made our decisions based on the moment when we die, if we could choose to do stuff over again, how would we do it differently? And I'm always just kind of like, whatever, let me just go for it, because I feel like you always regret the things that you don't do.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't want to be on your deathbed going, I should have done this.
Well, you know, and why wait until the deathbed?
Yeah.
When you go to bed at night to be alive and sleep, you're writing your book. Ask yourself, what did I do today to write in my book? And if you did nothing to write in your book, make sure the next day you're doing something worth writing about. You know, look, you know, it is about the journey for you and watching you on this journey. Look, you know, with the girls, you guys had this great thing going, and it took this guts. And I got scared. I got sweaty palms the night we found out that you were going to do your solo.
Yeah.
Your solo world.
Me too.
And I was like, what? And but I thought about what courage it takes to do that. And you're going to hear it in the album. I bet you $100, because I don't have $1 million. I bet you $100 that if you want to know what Camila went through and what she's going through in her life with that and other things, you're going to hear it in that album. Is this what the album's about?
I just love you so much.
No, but don't tell me. Is that it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's basically, I can't write about anything that I don't feel, you know, and the whole time that I've always been just writing feelings or thoughts or emotions in my notes in my phone. And so basically I had all of this stuff accumulated from 3 years of just writing, like while I was on tour with the group. And when I went into the studio, I just looked through all of my notes and I was just like, whoa, because it just kind of took me on the journey of how I was feeling with everything, like everything that caused me to feel any sort of emotion, whether it was anger, hurt, love, anything.
Right.
And I felt like I drew from all of those things, and that's what I wrote about. That's where I Have Questions came from. That's where a lot of the other songs are going to come from, is just from the notes in my phone that came from what I was feeling. So you're going to hear all of that in the album, and you're going to hear, I feel like in all of my music, it's always going to reflect what I've been through. And
there's
what I'm
another
going
song,
through.
Notes in the Phone. And you know, and I can see you looking
Notes
at
in the phone.
in the phone.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't read this note on my phone for the song I'm looking for because I was crying so hard in the club that night.
No,
And then she
there's
writes
no
a-
crying in the club.
Well, she wrote a song crying in the club. Barefoot in the club.
Yeah,
She-
right.
Barefoot in the club. Pata sucia in the club.
Why not? So I'm expecting this album out before the end of the year, maybe September, October.
Yeah, September. It's really hard for me to walk away from the album, like to be able to be like, okay, the process is done, is really hard for me. There are literally people around me that have to be like, okay, you have like put the pen down. So I basically I'm just asking for like one more month of writing, and then I have to turn it in.
You won't. You won't. You're not going to turn it until next March, I bet.
No, because I feel like at the same time, my fans, I want to feed them. Like I want to give them music. I don't want them to just live off of just these two.
Let's talk about your fans,
So I
Camila.
have to.
Camila Cabello actually reads what her fans have to do and what they send to her. Our own intern, Alexa.
I just saw her.
Where is she?
She's out there.
Come here, Alexa. Alexa sent a tweet to you. You and Machine Gun Kelly. I love how you put. You sent this to her. I love how you put your own melodies to his raps. So sick. So you, Alexa, here go to a microphone over here. You actually sent some of your work out on social media, and Camila saw it.
Yes, and it was absolutely terrifying for me.
I was just going to say, that's really cool because it is terrifying. I remember I used to put covers on YouTube up, and I would block the camera with my hand because I didn't want to show my face, because it's really scary to put yourself out there. Scary to put yourself out there on the internet like that. And you did it, and you did a really, really great job. I mean
Very
it.
much.
Well,
Yeah.
and here's what it sounds like. We have it.
Yes!
Right, here, play it.
I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body so I can take you wherever, like. I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body, I can look at you whenever now. In my head,
So-
Jesus Christ, this is so good.
if you only knew about things alive.
All right, so Alexa, you put that out there.
Can't explain.
I mean, Camila has 8.2 billion followers, but she saw it.
She did.
So you're actually watching from time to time. You're seeing what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I just love it. It makes me so happy. It's so cool. It's so cool that you did that. Seriously.
It's cool that you did that one.
Aw, thanks.
Intern Alexa, is this your last day with us?
It is.
What a great day! What a great send out.
By the way, Alexa's video is up on ElvisDuran.com.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes.
You know what? While thank you, Alexa. Thank you. I've got some more music.
Alexa, 5 seconds of bravery.
Put your headphones back on. I got to
Okay.
play some stuff for you.
Okay.
Do you remember doing this demo?
Oh my God. Yeah.
See, a lot of people don't hear the demos
Oh
because
my God.
we're not supposed to hear them.
Yep.
Demos are demos.
Yep.
They're supposed to be meant for maybe 2 people to hear.
Yeah.
But you were demoing with the Chainsmokers.
I did. Yeah. I basically recorded that song. And so they were like, "Oh, do you want to be on the song?" And I loved the song, but I had to turn it down because I was with the group at the time, and we were like about to put an album out, and so I didn't want to. I always tried to do my solo stuff like off cycle. So that was like super on, and so I had to say no, and then it was like the #1 song in the world. And I was like, oh, okay.
There'll be other number ones.
Yeah.
What is this here? I have a question.
Number one, tell me who is
This song here, I have questions.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
my faith apart.
I have questions.
Number two, what would you try and play me for a fool? I should've never.
That song really changed my life.
Why? What about this song changed your life?
I felt like it was the first time that I had been going through, which is basically what the album is about. I had been going through, just probably the lowest point in my life so far. At least it felt that way
What was so
for
low
me.
about it?
It was just stuff that was going on in my life. There was just toxic things that were going on. And I don't really like to speak too much in detail about it because I feel like whenever I want people to hear the songs and, relate it to whatever personal situation they're going through and not have my thing subconsciously in their head, if that makes sense. And also I can't say specifically. But I felt like that song was the first time that I really opened up about how I felt. For a long time, I stopped writing for like 6 months because for me, writing means getting in touch with my emotions. It means being honest with myself. It means going into the dark parts, you know?
And you didn't want to go
and
there.
I didn't want to go there. I wasn't ready to talk about what I was going through. And I felt like after 6 months, I had this stored, I had the lyrics to the song stored in my phone for the longest time. And I just couldn't get myself to really write the song. And I felt like when I did, I showed it to my mom in the car and she started crying because it just felt like for the first time I was talking about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
it felt good probably.
It felt so good. And I realized really the only way to get through pain or get through sadness is to talk about it. Because if you keep it up, if you keep it inside, I feel like it just comes back out in uglier ways.
Right.
And I felt like that's what was happening to me until this song happened. And from that, I wrote so many other songs about the same situation, which is the hurting part of the album. And it just felt like I was just getting better and better as I was talking about it. And I just felt like I was freeing myself. I just felt like the music was really freeing me.
You see, what we need to learn here is we're not all songwriters. But there is a way to write things
Absolutely.
down. Write them in your phone and go back and look at them later. But maybe it's too soon to admit this now. But at one point, I want you to call me or text me and say, I just did it. And this is what it is. The moment you realize that the most toxic, awful, negative times in your life, the darkest, are the best things that could have ever happened to you.
Oh, my God.
You don't know it yet. You'll know it. And
No. I know it now because I feel amazing. And I felt like I needed to go through... you need to go through those times to be able to.
They suck when you're in them, though.
Yeah, but when you're out of them, you realize that you can get through it, and then the next time that you feel low, you're like, okay, last time I thought that I could never get up, and I did. So this is I know I can do this. You know what I mean? Just gives you this confidence that even when it feels like the end of the world, it never is.
It's like your first big breakup. You think oh my gosh, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I'm never going to find someone to love me again. It's all over. And then you realize oh my
You're like,
gosh,
why am I
really?
worried about that a-hole?
Right, exactly.
Goodbye.
Or you see somebody across the room that's new and you feel those butterflies again and you're like, wow, that's the best feeling.
I love that.
It's such a good feeling. I love love.
Love is lovely.
And your boyfriend.
Love is lovely. One of my favorite songs ever recorded, and you and Zed put it out there.
It was at the ACLU benefit concert.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was a great night. That was at the Hollywood Bowl, right?
Yeah.
What a night.
Yeah,
And this
it
is
was
the concert Zed put together.
Yeah. It was amazing. I mean, I want to do as many things as possible like that in my career. I just love seeing people come together. Like the One Love Manchester thing I was seriously crying the entire time. It
was such an important moment. And
that's for everybody, because it just re-sparks your faith in humanity, if that makes sense.
Well, that's where music needs to take us.
Yeah.
You know? Camila, the name of the album, by the way, in case you don't know.
Yes.
Your album is called The Hurting, The Healing, The Loving. It's due out in September. And if she just stops writing and leaves it alone, we'll get to hear it.
I will. I really will.
It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. I love you guys.
We love you.
I really do.
You always have a safe home here. Should we play Crying in the Club?
Yeah.
I paid retail for this song.
We actually pay money for your music. We love you that
What
much.
does that mean? I don't know what that means, but that's amazing.
Camila Cabello.